Hey guys, Jarret Grimes here. Checking out my little 20 tall planted tank I threw in my shed because I didn't really have anywhere else to put it, but anyhow. I had a lot of people asking, are water changes really that important? Now of course I scratch my head and I'm like, man oh man, I got a lot to say about that. And so does everybody else really that's been in the hobby and had these experiences over time. Folks, test your water regularly, at least weekly. I mean, at bare minimum, especially on newer tanks. It's been up for a year or two, you're pretty well established if you maintain a good balance between feeding and water changes. Anyways, I'm going to stop on that note. I'll be right back in the house. Anyways, yeah, now I'm in front of my 125 American cichlid tank. Water changes are important. The main thing to watch is, as your tank cycled, as it formed basically enough biological bacteria to support the bioload, basically the poop or detritus builds up, and this particular bacteria has to fight it off. And I know people have done a million videos on this, but I just figured it was something more worth talking about. I don't really get on here a whole lot and just talk about things fish related. Normally I just show my tanks off and talk a little bit, and that's that. I'm enjoying the view here for a bit. It's my weekend, so I get to enjoy it a little bit. It's raining outside. That's another topic. Generally, I don't do water changes when it's pouring raining out. A lot of that reason is they have to treat my water in where I live with more chloramines and end up with a lot more heavy metals because the production of water is basically on overload. Now, it also depends on where you live, if you have a well, etc. and so on. Small water changes are okay. I test the water that's coming out. My preference, do what you want. But I test the water before I use it. Phosphates are very high in my water, so that is something that I have to keep an eye on as well. This is a very old and scratched up tank, but it serves the purpose. Anyways, yeah, fish tanks happen to be a big part of my life. My hobbies are a big part of my life. I like to work. I like to stay busy. That is what helps me through each and every day. My family, my friends, and most definitely my hobbies. In that order. I like building stuff. I like working on things. But at the end of the day, I love my fish. They are a big interest of mine that I enjoy very much. And I hope that you do too. I take pride in it. This tank was looking ragged. Just plain awful. No, I didn't clean it to take this video. That could play out like that, but not necessarily. I cleaned it up yesterday because it was just getting in bad shape. It's still overgrown moss-wise, but I'll take care of that at a later date. This tank actually may be finding a home. Honestly, guys, this is the only tank that I've ever bought, stand, tank, and light, brand new. As long as I've been in this hobby, 20 plus years. Sorry about the camera shake. Slipped. This is the only tank that I've bought. as far as brand new from a store Petco tank, 29 gallon, just straightforward stand, 4 legs, 2 cross beams, bottom and top. Done deal. Yes, I enjoy my fish, and I do believe that water changes have to be a part of fish keeping. Consider this: we breathe fresh air each and every day, and to get a percentage of oxygen in our lungs, into our blood, and it cycles over and over and over as we breathe out carbon monoxide, or carbon dioxide, excuse me. If we didn't have oxygen to survive, we would die. We wouldn't even exist on this planet. Now, fish, similarly, they're not warm-blooded. They keep the temp from their environment, just like a snake or lizard or anything would, as far as that goes. Cold-blooded. With that said, water changes are where they dwell, where they live. Their environment needs to be clean, guys. By clean, I mean the water can look pristine, but that doesn't necessarily mean there's not toxins in the water. Now, I have built filters, sumps, so on, etc. I'm not going into grave details, but to limit the amount of water changes, but you still have to do them, it still should be a part of your fish keeping routine, even if it's once a month. Now, I'm not telling you do it once a month. Me personally, I'm an every 2 week guy. I do about 35-40% on this tank. Each tank is different as far as routine, no. But amount of water that I change, yes. Smaller the tank, I change more. The bigger the tank, I change a little less. I do have room to play because on all my bigger tanks I have sumps. And a sump is basically just somewhere to keep filter media, and it adds water volume to your tank. This tank I just added a custom overflow box. Did have a PVC overflow on it for the longest time, and these guys are vibrant and showing their colors. Males are dominating. This guy here is looking good. Anyhow, do your water changes. It may seem like some work and a task, but I'll tell you, fish keeping, if you didn't want to work, you shouldn't have got into this hobby. Just plain and simple, being frank with you. I don't like doing water changes all the time, but I know it is a necessity for my fish to thrive and grow. And you're not doing too well, are you? I generally put this on camera, but female flavescent. You've been getting picked on a little bit. Regardless, do your water changes. Enjoy your fish. You want to enjoy them for 10, 15 years. Do your water changes. You got to remove them nitrates. Get a master test kit. It'll be the best $20 you ever spent on the hobby. I can't harp that enough. And I'm sorry I'm on my soapbox right now. But I do fish tank maintenance on the side from my full-time job. And some of them just want to put it off like it's not a big deal. And it is a big deal, because when I finally do come after 6, 7, 8 months, a year, I'm charging you triple. Because I'm doing triple or more work than I would ordinarily. Materials are costing me more because I'm having to replace everything, things that could be reused and washed out, etc. They have to be replaced. So not only are you losing a lot of that biological bacteria in your filter and whatnot, it's just making a lot more work for me. Now that's my rant. Anyways, the last tank of the day will be my 75 gallon planted tank. This is a 55 with a 20 tall sump, fully custom built by myself, and I will go into the other room for you. There's a little glare from the window. This tank has done very well. I went with a minimal dirt substrate, probably under a ½ inch actually. Yes, it will have to be replaced and all that sooner than should. You know, dirted tanks generally could be, you know, some people say 3 years. I read on forums that people have them for 5 years before they actually have to start dosing. I didn't want a lot of that headache and algae blooms and stuff until I found a good balance, because this is a I repeat, a non-CO2 tank. So the plants don't grow incredibly fast, but they do grow fast. They definitely grow fast. I like the way it looks. I need some red plants in here, and I'm gonna change it up a bit. All this guppy grass, whatever you want to call it, I forget the scientific name. It's overgrown. It kind of controls the sage. From taking over, because I can't get enough light down here for it to really do anything. So I'm gonna leave it. That sword is getting ginormous back here. Alright guys, I'm gonna leave you with that. I'm still working on the 220 project. But it's coming together. I should have it done. It's June now. So by the end of June, early July, mid-July at the very latest, I will have it completed. And there's a shot of that. There's a towel in it. So right now I'm going to finish resealing it, painting the back, getting it all squared away. I got my bulkheads in. Drilled. Tank's pretty much restored. The glass is restored. And my filter down there. Still got to find my dart pump to mount externally. It's gonna be in my living room. A lot of people say don't go with external because it will be loud, but I don't know what I'm decided to do. I may just put a gate valve on that and use it for water changes when I clean the sump or something, maybe. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below, and I hope you have a great day. It's awesome here in Illinois right now. The weather is beautiful other than rain. It has been rain for like the last 2 weeks. No, not like the last 2 weeks. It has been. And we got a lot of it, but it's just been hit and miss. And they'll say 40% and then we get nothing. They say 10% and it storms all day long. So anyways, keep doing what you're doing. Sorry about the rant earlier, but it's fact. We have to change the water to keep our fish's environment clean and free of toxins that may build up over time. The filter is meant to clean the water, yes, to an extent. Come on, use some common sense. Yeah, I try to get by without doing them sometimes too, but I still do them. I know what my responsibility is. Love you guys. Keep your sleeves wet.